Sunday is International Women's Day. It's a perfect opportunity for us to talk about violence against women in this province and across this country. Jessie Lehail joins us in the newsroom. She is the co-organizer of Meri Awaaz, My Voice, a symposium on Sunday to talk about the issue. Hi, Jessie.
Hi, Aaron. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. It's Friday night. It's not easy to get guests into the studio. Appreciate your time.
No worries.
Tell us about Meri Awaaz.
Okay, so Meri Awaaz originated from Manu Sandhu, who's the core organizer with me. We thought we had looked at some stats and found that 1 in 4 women experience domestic violence in their lifetime. So that was quite alarming for us. We'd heard stories within our own community and outside of our community of women who were experiencing domestic violence, and we felt that it was necessary that we do something ourselves to act as catalysts, to engage with different organizations and the government to ensure that some information and dialogue and empowerment was happening. And pretty much that's how this idea came about.
There's been a lot of talk about violence against women recently. The numbers are up. The numbers are actually astounding to me. The violence against women has never been as high as it has been in the last 5 years. Is talking about it enough? Do we need to do something else?
Definitely. I feel like, actually Manu and I both felt like there has been a lot of talk, but not a lot of action. So when we chose this specific forum and how to structure it, we wanted to have some very serious, deep digging type of conversation to happen. So the purpose of Sunday's event will be to have 8 panelists who are subject matter experts in their respective fields on domestic violence, and we'll be probing them with not superficial questions, but very deep, thoughtful questions that will engage them and hopefully help them to be more efficient, collaborate more, and have some real defined outcomes from this. Along with that, we're filming the event. We're actually going to be taking notes, recording, and having takeaways so that if we decide to do a follow-up event, or if any of these organizations or stakeholders would like to have some of the information that we've discovered along the way, then they're we're more than willing to share the information with them.
Recently, the provincial government came out. The Justice Minister and the Premier announced a new funding model for programs that address domestic violence, basically using proceeds of crime money to fund programs. There have been critics who call that crime crumbs and not a stable source of funding for programs that desperately need a stable source of funding. Do you think the government has done enough in this capacity?
I can't speak to the crime crumbs comment. However, I can say that I feel like they are taking steps. When they heard about our program for Sunday, I felt like they embraced it wholeheartedly. They've been championing the cause. The fact that Manu and I are South Asians, and we're having a dual educational opportunity to really define that domestic violence is not just a South Asian issue, it's a mainstream issue, it's a national issue, a global issue, but in the same light, empowering the South Asian community to look at cultural sensitivities and examine the domestic violence issue from that lens. The provincial government has championed what we're doing and have been interested in increased dialogue and the event in itself.
Is Meri Awaaz open to women and men, or just women?
Of course, it's totally open to men and women. We encourage men to stand up for the women in their lives, women standing up for women themselves and for their fellow women. We have a whole bunch of youth that have engaged and are participating in the event. We actually have the school, Surrey School Board, one teacher in particular gives her students a film project every year, and what she's found is that domestic violence films get created every year, and one of those films will be showcased and one of her previous students who's experienced domestic violence within her family is also one of our panelists. She's become a change maker and an advocate on the topic.
If someone wanted to go to Meri Awaaz, where would they go? Where can they get tickets?
You can go to Eventbrite. Meri Awaaz International Women's Day event is the title. Also, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com, Meri Awaaz. We're on Instagram, on Twitter. And then the event is actually being held at SFU Surrey, and it's 1 to 4, but we're encouraging people to come at 12:30 for some pre-registration. There'll be some networking after the event, so if guests in the audience would like to have one-on-one conversations with any of the panelists, they'll have the opportunity to do so at that time.
Great. We have to leave it there. We're out of time. I want to thank you for yours. Jessie Lehail is in the newsroom. She's the organizer of Meri Awaaz, a symposium on domestic violence on Sunday in Surrey. Good night.
Thank you.